Okay, so now we want to talk about how does physical weathering affect chemical weathering, and then how does chemical weathering affect physical weathering? Because normally both of these processes are going to be occurring at the same time. So the first one is mechanical weathering is going to increase the surface area for chemical weathering to occur on. So as an example here, I've got a block that is 2 units in width, 2 units in depth, and 2 units in height. So you could say 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters if you want. So what is the surface area of this cube? Okay, a cube is going to have 6 faces, and then each of the faces is going to be 2 units by 2 units. So that's the area of each of the faces. So that gives you a grand total of 24 units, 24 centimeters squared, as being the surface area of the original cube. Now let's say that physical weathering occurs, and so it breaks that big cube up into, let's say, 8 smaller cubes. And each of the small cubes is going to be 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. So you're going to have 8 little cubes. Each of the little cubes will have 6 faces, and then each of the little cubes is going to be 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. That would be its area, the surface area. And so when you add that all together, you get 48 centimeters squared. So what do you notice? That when you broke it apart into smaller pieces, the surface area increased. So this shows that mechanical weathering, which is going to break apart the rock into smaller pieces, will increase the surface area of those pieces, and then more surface area means that there's more area for chemical reactions to occur on. So that mechanical weathering will increase the rate of chemical weathering on a rock. Now what about the other way? So what does chemical weathering do to physical weathering? Okay, so let's say that you start off with a granite. So we know that a granite is going to have in it quartz, and it's going to have feldspar, and it's going to have some micas. All right, now we know what's going to happen to the quartz. Well, not much. So the quartz is it's very stable, and it's going to stay as a quartz. Okay, but what about those feldspars? Those feldspars will chemically be weathered into clay. And now we know that clay washes out very easily. So now you're going to have this granite that has been chemically altered, and it's going to have holes in it where the feldspars used to be, and it's going to be weaker mechanically. So that means it's going to be easier for physical weathering to break that rock apart as a result of chemical weathering. So chemical weathering makes it easier for mechanical weathering to occur, and then mechanical weathering makes it easier for chemical weathering to occur. All right, in our next segment, we are going to switch gears and start talking about soils.